This is the podcast overview for week 9, where we will be covering chapter 9, motivation and emotion. So I have your to-do list here, your objectives for chapter 9, which you can click here to listen to the podcast that goes over all of these objectives and gives you some clues as to where to focus for the chapter. I have your lecture slides for chapter 9. And there are 2 videos this week, in addition to the videos that you'll find in your reading in Revel. This video is on motivation, and this one is on emotion. And they're both pretty brief and short, but have a lot of details, so feel free to watch them as many times as you need to get the content and take notes and compare to what you read in the textbook. That's always a good way to see where the overlap is. For discussion this week, you're going to be reading Hawk 6.2, and this goes along right with chapter 9 of Cicerellian White. And the Hawk reading is called I Can See It All Over Your Face. And this deals with the research of Ekman and Friesen in looking at the universality of emotions, as well as nonverbal information that we use when we're communicating with other people. And so this is also found in the main chapter, which is why it's so great to integrate both the main chapter and the Hawk reading into your responses to these questions here. Okay, so you're going to be looking at what are the implications of the research by Ekman and Friesen? Meaning, what does it mean? All the research that they did on social interaction and how we communicate with one another, largely non-verbally. What does that mean? What does it say for us, for society? And how accurate do you feel that you are at reading other people's nonverbal cues? And that's a personal opinion question. Versus how accurate is the average person based on research at reading other people's nonverbal cues? Do we do a good job at it in general? What does that look like? And based on that, what role does this play in detecting deception? So there's a whole nother area of research, deception research, that looks at using nonverbal cues as clues to whether a person is being truthful. And so you can kind of integrate some of the research into answering that question. So again, just make sure that you're integrating both the main chapter and the Hawk reading into your responses. Make sure that you're citing correctly. Again, you shouldn't be using direct quotes. Rather, you should be paraphrasing in your own words and then citing the source, which would be the authors and the date. And then you will be all set. And then you have a quiz this week on chapter 9, and that is due by Friday as usual. So that wraps up week 9. Please let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to email me.